What's up, guys? This is JTQ9 of SSX-1, and welcome back to the channel. Season 33, War number 8. We've got SSX-1 versus HCMA Magneto. We need to win this one. This is we've dropped a couple. I believe we're 2-6 on this season. We've been dropping like flies. 3145 versus their 3006, and they got me off in lane 9 hazard shift again to a fight. You've obviously never seen me take this fight, right? Against Void in the first fight here. So this particular fight, as you know, taking it way too often. But again, for me, I just like throwing the SP1, keeping track of the count, and burning him down a lot faster with my R4 Penny. So that works well. So we're going to start talking about kind of the second fight as I'm going through. Really nervous, actually, because this is the first time I'm taking a Chavez on this hazard shift lane. I've got Penny, so I've got R4. I know I've got all kind of fail safes with her auto block, providing I can get the proper Spidey senses up. I can get the power burn for some extra damage as well. And but this fight had me nervous, and because it had me nervous, I think I was dueling her probably 50 times, just because if for whatever reason she can get to an SP2 with all kinds of negative zones or different things like that, she can become tricky and can really lay on some additional damage. So I dueled a lot for this one. I thought I was well prepared. I thought I had a very good strategy kind of going in. And because I spent so much time with her, as you saw in the title of my thing, Civil Warrior strikes again. So might be a little bit of a foreshadowing, and we'll get to that once we go. But so we're going to head into this Chavez fight. Like I said, a lot of the nerves and everything were for this one. And the strategy here was to basically try to parry, which you can gain more power with Penny that way. Do smaller combos, as she will be pushed to an SP1 quickly. And then the idea is to try to get to a Penny cycle. But the issue is that because of the power gain 1, there's some goods and bads here. So there, you obviously missed dexing on that and taking the one hit. Pushing to an SP2 prior to having all the Spidey charges up, or the Spidey senses up, hurt as well. But as you can see, I'm doing some good damage. So this is not, in my mind, a particularly difficult placement as the fight was going on. Only because with the power gain 1, her real big threat is when she gets to an SP2, and in my opinion. So because of the power gain 1, where it's, gains quicker and then but slower once you hit that SP1 or power, 1 bar of power, it actually makes this fight a lot easier. So I was throwing SP1s constantly to kind of get my Spidey senses up, also because I auto blocked 1 before that kind of saved me. But when you auto block, you lose the Spidey senses, so I couldn't quite get up to an SP2 that I thought was going to do any kind of relevant damage. So I was just playing it safe. I was baiting not baiting the heavies. I was trying to avoid the heavies. I was pushing her back when I could so I wouldn't get trapped. Because she had the negative zone up, she gains, when she throws a special 1, she gains a certain amount of power back per kind of per zone that she's in, or for lack of a better way of explaining it. So anyways, all to say is that I got her down really good. I was really happy with that fight. Ended up with basically a full yellow bar of health. So really happy about that Chavez fight. So with this Civil Warrior, I went in with Doom. Initially, I was going to look at throwing on some Mystics boosts and stuff. I didn't end up doing that in the end because I thought once I could get to a Doom cycle, it wouldn't be an issue. I didn't want to kind of overshoot the Doom cycle, and I thought just after kind of some conversations with my battle group about how this fight was, they really didn't seem like it was going to be much of an issue. Well, unfortunately, what would happen is that as we start watching this fight, I was like, okay, it's not so bad. Parry, a couple of heavies. As soon as the shot comes up, okay, unstoppable. That's nothing. Shields are getting up. Oh, look, another unstoppable with the timer. And it just seemed, whatever I was doing, unstoppables were popping up like crazy. So I don't know if the RNG was just hurting me. It just seemed like anything I was doing was not good enough. There was maybe a couple times I could have parried, then thrown SP2, or as opposed to throwing it right when he goes unstoppable, or with bubble shield as well. So I was throwing an SP1 there, forgetting that, you can't nullify his armor ups. So the attacks I was doing when he had those 13, 16 arm ups weren't doing a lot of damage. The other thing I didn't realize as well was that I should have just let Mystic Dispersion do its job. In hindsight, that would have been the proper play. Because of the amount of armor ups he was getting, I didn't even need to necessarily hit him. I could have just, parried one or hit 2 hits, but then that could prompt the unstoppable. So what I should have done was, as you can see there, I'm taking hits to the face because he's going unstoppable on almost every second hit. And I should have, like I said, in hindsight, just thrown the SP3s. Like, just parried, build up the power, let the Mystic Dispersion do its thing. Like there, I throw an SP2 as he goes unstoppable. I eat a 5-hit combo to the face, and now all of a sudden I'm starting to freak out because I'm starting to take chip damage. I've got 19 hits on the thing, so I know the next one after this 20 is going to be unblockable. So now I'm down to nothing. I throw kind of I don't want to say a desperation SP3, but and again, doesn't do a ton of damage. I tried to do a Doom Cycle a little bit, but then got scared because as the stun was wearing off, I was worried about going unstoppable again. So it just seemed like every time I was doing something, it just wasn't enough. And again, they say hindsight's 20/20, and the strategy should have been definitely just waiting for the Mystic Dispersion, throw the SP2 or SP3, and just be safe that way. Try not to get cornered like I am, and then, but yeah, as you can see, I'm like I threw an SP1 into an unstoppable again, trying to do any kind of damage, and then it procced again another armor up, which led to him actually killing me. So yeah, back-to-back wars, dying to Civil Warrior in 2 different places. This one here I actually thought was, as I was going through it, a much more difficult fight. Last war I just shouldn't have died. That was just sheer stupidity. So I thought going in here, I'd clean it up with Magneto, hopefully not taking any shocks. And then kind of as I was getting to the end, he threw the special. I got some shocks on me, doing a little bit of damage. But in the end, nothing really to worry about. So yeah, so that was unfortunately another death. And I think that's the first time I've died 3 in a season in a long time. So it's I was very, very, very disappointed in myself with this one. But it is what it is. Fortunately, no, at this point we had a pretty decent lead. I think I want to say we had a 3 or 4 kill lead. So I wasn't particularly worried because I figured we had, 3 or 4 death lead. Plus, I think we were 30 or 40 fights ahead of them at this time. So I wasn't as upset as the last one, which could have literally cost us the war. So with this one here, started with an APB, Advanced Power Boost, just to get power a little bit faster. The idea is to build to an SP3 and throw it, and hopefully at that point we'll kill him at this point. Magneto is just an absolute beast here against him. Really nothing to worry about. Just try not to get hit by any of the specials. Try to bait them out if need be. He's usually pretty good at just throwing them, so you don't necessarily have to do that. And then, take the 5-hit combo to the face, which is always good. Build up the prowess, throw the SP3 with no armors up, and that should more or less end this fight. So, good one there. Obviously, always fun to see him die as quick as he does when you use Magneto there. So, and what ended up being my last fight, initially I was supposed to take Nick Fury on the mini, and then also I think Ultron. But it just lined up that other people were boosted at the time and more available, I suppose, at when the fight needed to go down. So no big deal. Again, I was just happy to kind of get through these fights as kind of quick as I did, with no... Well, again, with the exception of that Civil Warrior one, where obviously anytime you die, I feel I let down my battle group, I let down the Alliance, and especially on a fight that I probably should ask more questions about. But I was so happy to get that Chavez down because I was so nervous about that one going in, having never really faced her in the last kind of season or two, and not really sure how Penny was going to deal with her. But was really happy to get her down and probably didn't focus as much as I should have been going into that Civil Warrior. And then obviously not changing my game plan as the fight was going on, as he was prompting unstoppables, which seemed to be every 2 seconds. So anyways, what can you do? So Hulkbuster's down there. As I said, I didn't clip a picture right at the end, but as you can see, we're 2 deaths ahead just in the battle group. They still had 8 fights to go. And like I said, we ended up taking this war by quite a big margin. I believe the final total was, there it is, 15-5. So no real risk at anything there. Fortunately, my death didn't cost us anything this time. And we look forward to the next one. We need to continue our winning streak if we want to ever have a chance to finish back at Masters. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.